Welcome to the Kepler Conference Online. I'm Courtney Roberts, and it's Friday night. It's time for the Research Software Showdown. So I'm going to turn it over to our moderator, Glenn Mitchell, and he's going to take us through a really comprehensive but brief overview of what's out there.
Thanks, Courtney. Let me go ahead and bring up the presentation and move this little window so that I can read what I have to say. Thank you, folks. This is the Research Software Showcase. I'm Glenn Mitchell. Instead of just doing a thumbnail overview of each of the pieces of software, and I've used them all, what I've decided to do is to instead talk about where we are and where I think we need to go in terms of research software. What features are available, what features a power user like myself would like to see. There's been a bit of a scramble by the general purpose astrology software lately to incorporate research features into their software. So in addition to the software demonstrations today, I know that John Halloran's Astro Deluxe Platinum and Jean Kremer's Planet Dance have also advertised research features. Different research features in each of those pieces of software. Then there's the software that's designed specifically for astrological research. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, and you're going to see some reviews, or not some reviews, you're going to see some actual hands-on presentations of these of these pieces of software. My perception right now is that astrological research software is a niche market. It's one that's growing, or it wouldn't have stimulated the general purpose astrology software to add research capabilities, but it's still a very small market. And so the people who are doing this are doing it because they're genuinely committed to providing astrology software for research. That's their passion. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing it, because there's not a big enough market to make, enough return on investment of their time to make it worthwhile yet. So they're each to be commended for the time and energy that they put into making research features available to us in their software. My perspective and our perspective for this brief discussion is the power user. What can they reasonably expect from the available software now, and what can they reasonably hope for in the near future? So I'm going to be speaking in generalities. I won't be naming any specific astrological research applications in my presentation here at all. We will be talking about some existing features. Lots of the available research features there are lots of available research features out there. And when I start talking about them in a minute, some of them are available in one or more of the pieces of software that's available right now, but they're not all that widespread across the whole spectrum of software. There's not a lot of overlap among the existing astrological research applications. Each does its specific niche thing or things, and there's a whole bunch of other things that it doesn't do. And so for a power user to be able to do comprehensively astrological research, it's my experience that you have to have more than one piece of astrological research software. You can't just get by with one and be able to cover the whole watershed. If you want to cover the watershed of available research techniques, you're going to have to purchase several pieces of software currently. And that's something that I'd like to see change in the future. One thing that I'd like to see more available is comprehensive documentation. There even exists astrological research applications out there that come without any documentation whatsoever. I mean, no help file, no PDF manual, no videos. The use of multiple media would be ideal, meaning a PDF manual, context-sensitive Windows help, and videos. Each have their advantages, and together they help users find the information they need when they need to find it. It would also help if that information included as happens with statistical software, SAS, SPSS, if the documentation included for the specific techniques that they use, the details on those techniques, the mathematical formulae that underlie them, for example. So if you're going to be using a chi-square statistic in your software package, it would be helpful for users to know what the formula is for the chi-square statistic that you're using. Import and export. Astrological software, research software, in my opinion, needs to do a better job of importing and exporting chart data. It's got to be easier for us to get our information into and out of these pieces of software. Now, the lowest common denominator, or the lingua franca, if you like, today seems to be Nova Chart Wheels format. And those files are limited to 5,000 characters in a single .nov file. It would be helpful if if the software manufacturers included more than just Nova Chart Wheel, if they included comma separated value files, if they incorporated each other, in fact, so that users could move the data easily back and forth between Sirius and I'm just using that as an example. Another one, Mastro, for example. If they could move them back and forth, make it easier for users. Another thing that follows underneath import and export that would be helpful is preparing data for import to statistical software. R, SAS, SPSS. Those are formats the statistical formats that are widely available. They're accessible to the public. They're accessible to software vendors. If you're going to prepare software for import to statistical software, it would help if it prepared it for those packages in particular. R in particular, I would mention because it's public. It's freeware. The .csv format, the comma separated value format, is also a common format for getting information into any one of those statistical software packages. Chart data. Astrological research software should come with a robust chart collection. It would be helpful if it included the Astro Databank data. That data is generally available. Astro Databank does make it accessible to software vendors. It's true that it is a bit difficult to use. You need to be an XML, XSLT programmer in order to be able to incorporate the Astro Databank data into your software application, but that's not around the world for any competent software developer. The Gauquelin data is another possibility. The Clifford Data Compendium, Nick Campion's country data, excuse me. Those sorts of data sources being available as chart collections would set users up for being able to do research when they buy the research software. The ability to add additional data fields would also be helpful. Users need to be able to search and select subsets of data easily to perform analysis. And so that means they need to be able to add a field for gender. They need to be able to add a field for whatever. If you're doing murderers, they may want to separate out mass murderers from serial murderers from other kinds of murderers. And so giving users the ability to be able to search and select subsets of data is something that's missing in a lot of software today. Research techniques that should be available to users should be a wide range of research techniques. Univariate analysis includes tabular analysis, graphs, tables, together with a chi-square statistic for a measure of association. Univariate statistics, such as the mean, the median, the mode, to measure central tendency, variance, standard deviation. Multivariate analysis, cross tabulations, again with a chi-square test possibly. Correlations, paired t-tests, multiple linear regression, ANOVA. These are all serious techniques that as our astrological research matures, users are going to want to be able to employ. And so they should be accessible in, like I said, more widely accessible in the available astrology research software tools. And then there's content analysis. Content analysis deals with the frequency of keywords, Or there's also synthesis involved, where you're trying to synthesize the information that comes from the frequency analysis. Another possibility, one which I discussed with Courtney just recently, is interchart analysis. Being able to compare information across 2 or more charts would be a helpful addition.